The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the host of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. And speaking of Cedar Point, I think I am just now starting to get thawed out from my day at Cedar Point.
That was one of the coldest days of my life.
Yeah, it was like 60, 60, 40, 60,
Oh my
60,
God.
60, and then like with the wind, it was crazy.
Yeah, I got out of my car, and then that wind cut through me, and I just about sat back down and went home. It was
You were like, well, that was good. I got to see the tower from the parking lot. I'm going home.
Yeah. My God, was it cold?
It was bad. I'm glad they gave us gloves as like one of the little like gifts because I had planned
hand
to bring
warmers. There was hand warmers in the security thing too. So
I had planned on bringing hand warmers, but I left them in the car. I forgot them.
like sure.
So I was about to be just barehanded the entire event, but the gloves saved me.
We'll have to buy some battery powered gloves.
Yeah.
Well, we got a ton of winter chill out updates and things that we saw. I know Kyle is chomping at the bit to tell us what his first thoughts of Top Thrill 2's finally seeing it in person and everything with the tower, the spike tower and everything. But first, you want to talk about the crazy breaking news that was dropped, I think, by WKYC today that
Cleveland Channel 3.
Snake River Expedition
Literally like 3 hours ago.
is no more, at least for 2024. Kyle, you wanna talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, before we jump into that, I think we have done a pretty darn good job of picking nights to record that Cedar Point news breaks.
Wasn't it last week the Skyride news, and then today was the Snake River Expedition?
And I feel like a couple weeks ago we got pretty lucky too. Anyway,
we're gonna get someone's gonna, or Tony, like you said, Tony listens to the podcast, so now he's gonna be like, oh, we're gonna drop news on Friday.
Yeah. Little bit of sad news out of Cedar Point, as it seems that Snake River Expedition, the new reimagined boat ride that opened in 2021, is gonna call it quits after just 3 seasons.
I'm sad. I'm sad.
Yeah,
I'm sad.
like you guys said, WKYC kind of broke this news earlier, and the news article says, after just a few years in operation, Cedar Point has closed Snake River Expedition prior to the start of the 2024 season. Cedar Point spokesperson Tony Clark confirmed the ride's closure with the following statement provided to 3 News on Thursday afternoon. Snake River Expedition will not return in 2024. Every year, we evaluate guest ridership, feedback, and usage of our attractions and make decisions accordingly as we plan for the future. At this time, there are no additional plans or announcements for the ride. And it also states that the ride's information has already been removed from the Cedar Point website.
I believe somebody noticed that like a day or two ago that it had been removed, or maybe even I was the one that actually looked. I don't know.
Because you were messaging me and saying, hey, it's gone from the website. And I was messaging you back being like, well, it's still on the park map that's currently on the brand new Cedar Point app. So my thinking is maybe Cedar Fair pulled it. They were like, you know what? We're actually going to pull it. I don't know. Maybe they just decided like, you know what? We're going to pull it. Maybe next year it'll come back in just a completely different form of, just needs maybe it just needs like a year of off and then come back with something brand new. And maybe it just needs to be a freaking boat ride. I am so sad. I'm going to get up on my little pedestal. I am so sad that they can't freaking figure out a freaking boat ride. Like, have a captain, have the animatronics, whatever, work or whatever. We saw them at Winter Chill Out. Sorry, spoiler alert. Yeah, they were at Winter Chill Out. I made sure I was peeking through the bushes and everything. Not really bushes, like walking down the midway, and you could see across the water. You could see everything. And I was telling you, Evan, I'm like, Evan, everything is all like shrink wrapped and ready to go for next season.
Yeah.
Nope, it's not coming back this year. So I'm really ticked off.
But
I'm really sad, and I really hope it comes back in 25. So
to your point, though, wasn't there a significant change from 2022 to 2023 that essentially
it
just
was
made
very,
it a
very
boat ride?
neutered as from its original version.
See, now
Yeah.
I didn't get to experience it in 2023, but I mean,
you weren't missing anything.
were
It
there
was
still-
closer to what Paddle Wheel always was.
yeah,
It was somebody driving the boat who had their back to the crowd, but they were talking, and they were just like, "Hey, we're going down the river, and there's a beaver. Click button to activate the beaver animatronic."
and there were
And then
no more entertainment
Nope.
associates, right?
No, but you're also missing the big part of the story is they were trying to sell land that
the story was really like convoluted and weird. Like they
it
tried
was
to
kind of
little kids did not understand what
No.
the hell was going on.
no. But
They
I
understood I
understand.
have gold and it got stolen from me. Oh crap, we're getting shot at.
I thought it
but-
was good. I think they like sometimes like I don't know, man. I think Cedar Fair and Cedar Point, or maybe just Cedar Fair, and maybe it's because corporate's in more corporate is more or less in the Carowinds area than being on the ground at Cedar Point anymore. Maybe they've lost touch. I don't know. I'm just I'm just like, just give things like maybe 4 or 5 years. They had ridership, it had a line, and then like the thing like just I'm just thinking of like Wild Frontier Nights. 1 year and we're like, well, we're done. It's like you got to get the word of mouth out, and now the word of mouth was starting to spread that hey, Cedar Point has a boat ride, go check it out. Because a lot of the people that I talk to that only visit Cedar Point like once or twice a year, they're like, Cedar Point has a boat ride. I'm like, yeah, we would ride it and be like, oh, that was actually really cool. But yeah,
especially the first 2 years it was around. I mean, God, we had a lot of fun because a lot of the live entertainment associates were really, really, really good at it. And
they did it up.
we would always, because we knew the story, we knew what was going to happen. We always kind of, added a little extra. We were a little over the top with it, but we had fun. And I think it was always a fun ride. And then they just really neutered it because I don't know.
Probably budget cuts, really.
I mean, I hate to say this, but the writing was really on the wall once they closed down Forbidden Frontier.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
that
then
was
neutered the story.
That was a big part of the story.
And I think COVID had a huge impact in, the island and that getting closed off and everything, just because it opened the year before COVID, had really good momentum. Everyone was like, yeah, it's gonna be awesome, cool, whatever. And then it's like,
okay, for the 150th, we're gonna bring back this boat ride, and then it just didn't open, and it kind of got forgotten about.
Well, the park didn't open until July, and then everything was like closed down, and everything was that. And then by the time everything kind of rolled around the next year, people forgot about the island. They forgot about everything, and there were still like restrictions in place and things like that. And I don't know. I'm sad. I hope that it sometime will return. I mean, those boats are expensive. They can't be cheap.
And they were really themed up. Like, it'd be a shame to lose those just kind of cool looking boats.
Bring it back.
That's one of my favorite Coaster Dynamics product was the Snake River Expedition boat. That was cool.
But I mean, you know what? I don't need, like, they'll be like, well, but Karsten, you can have a 500 or 600 foot coaster there if you don't have the boat ride. Like, I don't care. I want the boat ride.
Okay.
Kyle can attest.
Okay.
I rode the boat ride at Disney just to go from the parking area to the actual Magic Kingdom, just because I like a boat ride. I don't know. Maybe I need to own a boat.
I've ridden Jungle Cruise and actually gotten a ride on the
I haven't. I know. There was like a 65-minute wait. I didn't wait for it. But anyway, I'm sad about it. And I'm curious to see what this whole, like, they've got a big chunk of land that's just sitting right there with a giant spot saying future development. Hello.
Let's restart the rumor mill now. GCI on the island. Let's go.
GCI, yeah.
They
built that
I'm pulling for.
bridge
I would love that so much.
Gosh.
I know what my Cedar Fair Santa is going to be next year. I know what it's going to be.
But anyway, I'm going to say, moving on. Kyle, you want to talk a little bit about how your winter chill out experience went and how you finally got to see
your first time seeing the spike from in the park. I mean, Carson and I saw it, like half of it, in October when it was built during the park operating season. But this was your first time seeing any sort of structure in that spot.
Yeah, it was my first time seeing that spike in person. Well, not the first time seeing it from the park. You know, when I was home for Christmas, I did drive over and look at it. But oh my God, is that thing huge? It is just crazy big. It's so weird seeing the scale. I think the point that I really realized how big this thing was after we left the engine house and we were on our way to lunch, looking at Iron Dragon, the station of Iron Dragon, and just seeing this thing tower over, and then looking up and seeing Rougarou and seeing the thing just tower over. I think you said at one point, imagine being on Top Throw 2 and looking down at Power Tower.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy. It makes Power Tower look tiny compared to it.
I know.
Not even looking down on Power Tower, looking down. It's not even it's here's Power Tower just a few feet underneath. It's 100 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing is huge. It looks so good. I really like the new color scheme. The blue.
Oh yeah, that was your first time seeing any of the new color too, right?
And the first time seeing anything from the new station or anything. It pops. I love it.
That charcoal gray is so nice against the white track, and then the little the red accents, every other piece of track. God, does it pop? It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to get used to everything, just the spike and the new color scheme and everything. But wow, does it look good? And I cannot wait to ride it.
I was gonna say, literally, walking down the midway, just seeing it in person finally for the first time, it built and everything. I'm just one, the general public's gonna be like, when did Cedar Point add a cell phone tower? Because it's the red and white
cell phone tower.
Or two, and honestly, it's so far away from Top Thrill, the actual top hat and everything. It almost looks like it's almost not part of the ride, and it's oh wow, Cedar Point just built a drop tower.
It's comical how far away from the original tower it is.
Right, and it's not that far away, but it's just and then you just see it and you're just oh God, you're just what? Oh my gosh.
I don't mean this as a bad thing. Well, I don't mean either of these things as a bad thing. One, it looks like a cell phone tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just
in the best way possible.
And then the other thing, and again, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I don't think I'll ever get used to it. It is just so strange looking. It's more strange than when they built Gatekeeper and changed the front gate even. It's more strange than Valraven. It is just so freaking weird. Just this giant spike in the dead middle of the park. Again, not a bad thing. It's just what in the what?
I know. It's crazy. If you guys go to our Facebook page and check out all the photos that Evan and I uploaded. Kyle's coming soon with a video soon.
I am.
Evan, you took pictures all around the park, and we try to we're cool, you can take pictures, but let's try to take pictures all around the park and just see what this thing looks like. At least the spike tower.
Yeah, the goal going into Winter Chill Out was let's just every random spot in the park that we could see the spike. Let's take a picture of it because you could see it from everywhere.
Yeah, you really can. And I think one of my favorite ones, again, look at our Facebook page. We've got 100 probably photos of just Top Thrill 2 pictures up there. But you can actually see, I think it was one I took. It was literally straight on with the tower, and it was facing really close to Iron Dragon, and you could see the whole entire the structure complex of it, and you could see it pretty much lined up obviously with Top Thrill 2, the top hat and everything, the original hill. Holy crap, it just looks, obviously they're the same height of but it looks the way that it's constructed and everything looks a lot taller. So
yeah, it does. When you're looking straight up at the spike versus the original tower, the spike is so much more imposing. It literally goes into the sky.
Yeah.
And it helped that it was a perfectly blue day. I mean, it was cold as could be, but it was just straight blue, sunny skies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it just goes for infinity.
And you know what? The best part is is if Kyle gets us up tonight, we've got 65 days currently right now today. And that's when the clock strikes midnight. It'll be 64 days until Cedar Point's back open. But that also means that it'll be 60 days until Cedar Point is open for season pass preview days. And 39 days until total eclipse of the point. And
should we start adding in when we talk about the total eclipse of the point that don't expect Top Thrill to be open? It will not be.
Yeah, it's got to get state certified. And they've got to, I think they're coming in with another company possibly.
I was thinking about that today. Like, so many people are going to show up to the eclipse event and be like, why isn't Top Thrill 2 open?
There is probably a good chance, though, since it's like in April and hopefully warmer weather and it's not like super rainy or whatever, there might be some testing of Top Thrill 2 that we might be able to at least see from the boardwalk. I don't know how close we'll be able to get. But
imagine this. The eclipse is, it starts, but then it doesn't actually reach like totality or whatever until a little while into the actual eclipse event. We reach the point where it is completely dark out and the floodlights turn on under the spike and you see the train go flying up the spike as the eclipse starts. That would be like, ta-da.
Yeah, right. Oh, hey, by
like
the way.
The gates of heaven.
Yeah.
But yeah.
By the way, like when we go to the eclipse event, there's pretty much almost like 20-ish or so days until the season pass preview. So, I mean, we'll be ready to rock and roll, which is, so
very exciting.
And then also I was going to say, we got to see the old engine house that Top Thrill used to have, where the hydraulics used to be and things like that. They completely got rid of everything. And it so was weird. Oh my goodness, it's literally just looks like a workshop. It's got it used to, if anyone saw like pictures of like back in the day, it used to have like a really, really deep like reservoir basement kind of thing where the hydraulics used to kind of sit, and the big old spinny thing, I don't know what the technical term would be for that, whatever that was called. Anyway,
mechanism.
Yeah. So it would the drum, the steel drum would spin around and stuff. That's what I was looking for. Would be down there and everything, and completely gone. Everything's gone. It's cool that they have they called it Top Thrill 2 Garage, I think is what they were calling.
Top Thrill Garage, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be the Wild Mouse Garage.
And that too, yeah. And they had pictures of what it used to look like, so you could kind of see what it used to look like and stuff and everything. I was like, oh, that's cool. Little homage to the building, but complete flat floor. You can do whatever you want. You can host an event in there, really, if you really wanted to.
For right now, until they actually make it a real maintenance shop.
Yeah. So it was very, very bare bones, and it was really cool to walk in there, and we got to take pictures, obviously, in the trains and stuff and everything. I know I got to sit on the silver train, so I've got my butt on 2 of the trains out of the 3. Tony said the black one's currently not on site just yet. He said that one's coming super soon, is what he was saying. But yeah, so I got to sit on the blue train and the silver train, and I think the silver train was a little more like comfier than the blue train.
Oh, really?
It's probably because I had like 14 layers on. But yeah,
they were there. Those are super comfy trains. I really like them.
And I also, adding on to it, I'm kind of blown away that a lot of the midway, for the most part, wasn't really touched. So I'm curious to see if they decide to completely get rid. There's only 60 days or so until the preview days. So that area needs to be done and ready to go. I'm curious to see if the concrete is going to become like a brand new concrete, or if they're just going to continue to just to do spot checks and change whatever they need, kind of thing. I don't know. We saw the bleachers was obviously still there, not really touched. The gift shop still wasn't touched per se. And there's still some work to be left, or still work to be done on the Top Thrill 2 station, where you can see some of the arch, the big steel to hold the arch up for the building still needs to be put in place and stuff. But I do want to report that there's no more big cranes, at least currently right now, or not right now. I should say that we're currently there on Saturday to do big, heavy construction to possibly take off those awesome, cool lights that are on the tower for the countdown lights. So I'm like, maybe those are going to stay, and maybe they're going to repurpose those, and maybe they're going to use. I mean, I don't know, Kyle. What did you think? And we heard you about the what you thought of the spike tower. What did you think of the whole entire project coming together?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot farther along than I thought it would be at this point. I mean, it looks really, really good, and I'm blown away by how different that whole section of the park is going to feel and look, and just, I mean, it's really going to bring, not that there wasn't excitement and energy there when the former ride was there, but like it's going to bring just a new energy to that area of the park. I'm super excited.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Evan, you have any final thoughts?
I mean, you said it, right? Like, it's just, I don't think I've really been able to put into words like what was going through my head, even looking at it when we chill out or post or since then. I mean, we kind of hustled down that midway, unfortunately, because our group was behind schedule. But it's just like, what? and I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just like, what in the, like, this is not Cedar Point. This is so weird. I don't know. You wouldn't think just one structure could do that, but it's just, it feels like, like when you dream, like when you have a dream about Cedar Point, you only know it's Cedar Point because it's in your head and it's a dream. But like in your dream, it's actually like nothing like the park, or there's like really strange differences. Like you're like, I'm riding Millennium, but like Millennium is like green and it's an inverted coaster.
Or you could be not sitting in the seat and you're like hanging on.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
those
stupid crap like that. Yeah, stupid crap like that. That's what it felt like. Like it felt like I was walking through Cedar Point along the former Top Thrill Dragster midway in a dream, because it was just like, it's there. I know it's the original. I know what was there, and it looks close enough to the original, but it's like, it's different and it's weird, and I don't like it, but I like it.
You feel like you're just in a dream right now. You're like, oh, we're just going through 2022 or whatever, and just
actually, did you hear about that new virus, the coronavirus?
Yeah, right. Hey, Evan, it's time to wake up. Come on. We got to ride Steel Vengeance for last ride of the night. Let's go.
Right. Jesus. My 21st birthday's coming up, guys.
Right, yeah. Time to wake up. Let's go. You're like, dude, you wouldn't believe there was so much stuff in this dream.
Yeah, they got rid of Top Thrill Dragster, but they changed.
I don't understand. And I got to go to Universal finally and ride Velocicoaster, and Carson, you were in the dream like a lot, and like started a podcast, and then we also you went to Disney. You went to Disney.
Carson went to Disney of all people.
You went to the Daytona 500 twice. Like what?
that's really like that's how I feel about Top Thrill too. Like it's just a dream. It's just it's so weird and crazy, but it's so exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah,
but
it's super excited. You could tell the park's super excited about it.
Yeah, and you could tell we're super excited because we've talked about this probably way longer than we really anticipated. Yep. So let's move on to other new things.
That's all you.
Because that's, we always gotta talk a little bit about food, or at least I do, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so part of Winter Chill Out every year is always a really good lunch. This year I think was probably the best that they've done, just overall. Like that was really good food served at lunch. And usually they like to show off some of the new stuff coming to the park food-wise. In past years, they would show off some of like, hey, here's what's going to be a Frontier Fest.
Yes.
This year, it was just kind of random crap that they're going to have around the park that's going to be new. So there's 3 different things that were there to try. First, were what they were calling island meatballs, which are going to be at the Grand Pavilion. They're literally just meatballs with some sort of like sweet and sour sauce.
There looked like it was almost like a sweet and sour sauce, but there was also it had pineapples in it too, which was
this was, believe it or not, because I'm always very complimentary of Cedar Point food. This was just not my thing. Like
I love
but
it.
I could totally
Yeah.
I could totally see where other people would like it. But yeah, that's going to be a Grand Pavilion, and it's going to be on the meal plan. So then next up was at Hugo's, they're going to have as a side a caprese salad, which if you don't know is like mozzarella, big chunks of mozzarella and big chunks of tomatoes and they're going to throw some pesto sauce on it. Usually that's served with like balsamic vinegar or something.
Yeah.
But not my thing. I didn't even try it, but I know for one, like my mom, she like loves that kind of crap. Yep. So she's going to be all over that. And she's had caprese salad from Hugo's before. That was more just like store-bought almost, and she even liked that. So now they're making it a little bit homemade and putting their own little touch on it. And then last but not least, and I swear I could go to why am I blanking on the name of the steak place? In Frontier Town. Farmhouse. Jesus. Yeah, we're still in a dream. It's actually the Cadillac car still, right?
Yeah.
Or antique cars. Anyways, Farmhouse, they're gonna as a side, they're debuting a broccoli cheese casserole with breadcrumbs like baked on top of it. When I tell you that this was one of the best things I've ever eaten, like this could have been served at Grandma's house on Thanksgiving. It was that good.
Was so good.
Actually, one of the guys that was working the event was like, I literally took the recipe home and cooked this for Christmas. It was literally one of the best things I've ever eaten. It was so good. I'm
glad you were able to chat with people like at lunch, because our lunch was like 20 minutes, eat, then we got to go.
We literally begged and pleaded for an extra 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, that was fantastic. So that will be at Farmhouse. Then the other things that they had that weren't anything new, but they had just like boneless chicken wings to eat, like a Caesar salad, a bunch of desserts, one of which was like a s'mores cookie, which was super good.
They also had Pistol Pete sauce that was literally in like a little pushy down thing.
Yeah, the Texas Pete hot sauce.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's
that comes to like into the park, because
a new partnership. Because that was nice. Like where you normally get like your ketchup and your mustard and stuff, like the little dispenser thing. It was like that. So
yeah, I
made a little concoction with that and some ranch dressing, so it would take down some of the heat, because I'm a little baby with that. But
oh god, that'd be so good on the smoked wings at Backbeat.
Oh gosh.
But they also had the Backbeat mac and cheese there, which was a nice little taste of summer, because god, I love that mac and cheese. Yep. So literally my entire lunch was pretty much cheese, because I went back and got back another full plate of mac and cheese and another full plate of broccoli cheese casserole. Oh my god, it was so good. So yep, Cedar Point Food stepping it up once again this summer. So look for those things all on the meal plan at their respective locations. And I'm sure there will be, the park said in their TikTok, a week and a half ago, that there will be new food items themed to Top Thrill 2 spread throughout the entire park. But this was just a nice little taste of some things they've been working on. And home runs, all three of them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Kyle, do you want to comment on the food at all?
Yeah, I thought it was solid. The macaroni and cheese was decent. It's more along the lines of the kind I like, where it's not like super runny and liquidy, but it's more like a baked.
Yeah.
Like you guys said with the broccoli and cheese casserole, that was really, really good. My favorite part of the lunch, Carson, if you remember, after the Daytona 500, I went crazy at the Daytona Buc-ee's because they had banana pudding parfaits.
Yes, you did.
I went a similar level of crazy when we were at lunch and they had banana cream pie parfaits.
Now, which were better, the Cedar Point or the Buc-ee's one?
The Cedar Point ones were pretty solid. It was the Buc-ee's ones were just like straight vanilla pudding with like banana and vanilla wafers. This one was like the pudding and like cream cheese and banana and graham cracker and whipped cream. It was really good.
I didn't have that one, but I had like the Oreo chocolate one. That one was very, very good as well.
Yeah.
But
very, very good.
That's about all I have to say about lunch.
Yeah, you're not a meal plan guy.
Nope.
But maybe this is That mac and cheese is available year round at
might not be a meal
barbecue.
plan.
So
He might not be a meal plan guy, but maybe he'll buy the single day.
Yeah.
I mean,
the banana.
There you go.
Last year, when I lived in Ohio, I used to never eat at Cedar Point because I just didn't. When I went last year, I did have a meal at the Grand Pavilion, and it was really good. So maybe I will get a single day this year.
crossing my fingers that the fish returns because that fish was really, really good.
Oh my God, the fish at Grand Pavilion. I missed that the second half of the year,
right?
or like the last couple months.
Uh,
Anyways, round up winner, chill out, Carson.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just gonna run through a lot of the stuff that we kind of saw, and then some breaking news. I don't even know if I told you guys this, and I don't even know if this is breaking news. But it was kind of shocked me that the Toffs, the Toffs cow that normally is in its little stable, like right in front of the Toffs ice cream place, was actually missing. So I don't know if Toffs is gonna go. I know. I noticed the smallest things, like I told you. I don't know if Knott's is going to be. Toffs, not Knott's. I don't. Yeah.
You were at Knott's Berry Farm a couple weeks ago, Karsten.
Yes. I don't know if that's going to get replaced with some new ice cream, or if he's just getting some. He or she is going to get some TLC or something like that. Maybe they're going to paint him.
Job, protecting her from the elements.
Yeah. But normally he's out there, so at least I noticed he was out there. But anyway, I did actually know, like, again, me being nerdy, noticing the small little things. I did notice some new lighting going on the main midway. They've got some like really long poles and then some white lights with like a little light that extends down, replacing the really old, probably like 70s or 80s style, big giant cube lighting, I guess you could say, over there. Again, nerdy stuff. We got to go see the landscaping area, which is really cool. Shout out to them. The flowers are going to be really cool. Probably going to post those possibly tomorrow, what we got to see, but they showed like what they're trying to make in the flower bed when you ride sky ride over them, and you can see what's going on. Last year obviously was the wild mouse, and previous years was Valraven, Rougarou, and Maverick, and so
whatever's new that year. Yeah,
normally, or if there's like a big, like if they're at the park is celebrating like a big, like I remember the one year they did a giant wheel with the 50th anniversary. But the Top Thrill 2 logo was supposed to have like a black flowers or black bedding or something like that to like mimic the black logo, and then it's gonna have Top Thrill 2's logo on it with like a bunch of like red like little stripes and stuff and everything. So that was pretty cool. We also got to see the maintenance area. That was all completely they're working on a lot of the stuff for the boardwalk. Like they're trying to like expedite that stuff and push that stuff forward, because obviously they're going to have the boardwalk area open for the total eclipse of the point, which tickets are still available. Ding. But Tony said they're close to selling out, so make sure you get your tickets in before it's too late. But anyway, they have to. It's interesting to think about this. They actually have to get like the state of Ohio there to certify the rides. Like the maintenance has to obviously finish the complete tear down completely from like literally you'll see like a giant car, Millennium Force, for instance, and literally every single thing that you see on there, if it has a bolt and can get undone or whatever, they literally have it go completely down to pretty much just the bare frame. And even the bare frame gets inspected by like what is it, like not radiology, but imaging.
X-ray.
Yeah, X-ray and whatever.
They look for micro cracks and yada yada.
Just
one of the Fun TV
safe
like what do they call it? One of the segments on Fun TV used to talk about that with the Beast. I remember. I don't know if it still does even, but
yeah. I think I know. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. They also, it was really cool. They had the Millennium Force's sled, I guess you could say, the lift hill sled that takes you up on the hill. They had that
car.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had that on display. And I thought it was all together, and the maintenance guy was like, actually, no, it's not all together at all. It's actually literally link by link by link. It's literally all apart, and we just kind of set it around in the maintenance area. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. It stretched the whole entire building. That just to give you an idea how long and how
longer
wide.
than I thought it was.
Yeah. It was really cool. They had a few demos at the maintenance shop. They had like where Guess the Wheel. They had like really different crazy wheels. Like obviously you could see Top Thrill 2's wheel, which is like the biggest one of them all. And then they had like Valraven, and they had some water rides and things like that. I don't want to spoil it for people that want to play that game. Also we got to see Power Tower's paint job, at least on the one tower of it they got done so far. Hopefully within this next coming week or so. I think it's supposed to be like in the 50s, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they can start hitting it and start painting it.
But that one leg looks really, really good.
It does. It really does. And I also noticed, unless my eyes are deceiving me, it looked like the white was painted too, which I was hoping for, because it was really shiny when I looked at it, and the other side was kind of looking dull. So it looks like it's getting a full 100% like paint job, and I'm just curious to see if there's going to be a different logo on the top, or for Cedar Point, and also maybe a Power Tower. The Power Tower. One maybe will get replaced, and then also on the Power Tower Midway, like by Top Thrill 2, they had the flags that were used to be on the actual station for Top Thrill. They took those down and put them in nice storage and stuff. It looks like they were painted. They were red and white, because I remember the original flags before used to just be all red. And
it looks like those are going to be getting ready to be put back on.
Really crazy. Those flags are freaking massive. Like. Yeah. Like just seeing them like in perspective, like down below on the ground and stuff, I'm just like, holy crap, I'm trying to see. And then also, like I said, we got to see, the gift shop, the new Speed Zone gift shop. They pretty much haven't done anything with it yet, and they've got 60 days to figure out what they're going to do with it. So I'm curious to see what's going to go about on that. Again, you could see a lot of the stations coming together. You can see the giant control booth where Top Thrill 2 is going to overhang, almost just like what Gatekeeper does. I'm super excited about that. Also, something that I noticed that, like I said, I noticed the small things, really nerdy. You can see the top hat, on the top hat of the original tower, the walkway that for maintenance to go up there and whatever, got redone, and it's a lot smaller and a lot shorter. And I don't know if it's brand new. It might extend a little bit further away from the track. I don't know if there was like a clearance issue with the new trains, or something. I noticed that because you could see the old or whatever extra pieces that they had. They were sitting over in the Hotel Breakers parking lot. And then also another nerdy thing is coming down off of the top, the original hill, off the top hat. You can see where they shaved one of the supports when you would twist down and coming back down on the drop. They shaved one of the supports down just a little bit. Again, I think it might have just been the clearance issue that they needed.
These trains are definitely bigger.
Yeah. So I didn't realize they were going to be a little wider, but yeah. So I was like, interesting. And then also, we got to see the sign shop. We got to see the brand new, the Skyride cabins. Yeah, we get to see the Von Roll. That looks really good. We got to see all the old fashioned Cedar Point signs, things like that. Although Kyle, you did say that, I remember when Valraven was built, and they had the timeline on that wall, and you could see the different coasters, and then they were like, oh, what's coming next? Oh, it's Valraven. They actually added
they had a Steel Vengeance one.
Yeah, they added a Steel Vengeance one. So I was like, I'm like, is that an homage to maybe something coming in
I noticed that last year. I remember seeing that one last year.
Okay.
But I guess you could say that, like, hey, maybe they just want to keep it up to date in case they ever want to use it again.
Right.
But they also still have the Wicked Twister one.
Yeah. So, and then obviously we got to see the Barnyard Friends. Those the alpacas and everything were there. You got to see Churro.
And his half-brother Chorizo. And I was the first park guest to ever hold Chorizo.
Yeah, and I think you're probably the first part guest to post a selfie of yourself holding him too.
Chorizo's so cute. He looks a lot like Churro.
Then also we got to go underneath Millennium Force's lift hill and take a bunch of pictures in the tunnels and underneath the lift hill and stuff. I did notice that underneath the lift hill there were lights that for Millennium Force's lift hill, and they were all completely zip they were wrapped with a bunch of like coverings, and then they were also zip tied like to keep the wrap from making sure that we're not going to get the crazy elements and things like that. So I'm curious to see if maybe, I don't know for sure because they were wrapped up and stuff. I think previous years the actual those lights never, I don't think ever got covered up. So I wonder if those are possibly new lights for Millennium Force's lift hill, just like how we got for the power tower last year. Like that would be really cool if Millennium Force got really cool, powerful, brand new LED lights. Because I know that the LED lights on the actual on the actual tower for Millennium Force were kind of getting a little dull and a little dim and stuff and everything. So over the years, I know the last time that they replaced them, I think, is when they added the Celebration Plaza, the big stage area. Although I could be wrong. Then we got to see obviously the train area. Nothing crazy new about that. It was cool that they had like a POV and a video of the train running and stuff, and seeing it, run through the park and everything. I thought that was really neat. And then Evan, do you want to talk about some of the merchandise that we got to see? Because I know that you said that you were able to see a bunch of stuff, and I can chime in for if I heard anything different.
Yeah, just really quick, because we are definitely going way longer than we thought. We still have more news. But so, yeah, there was plenty of new merchandise on sale for Winter Chill Out. First, they had a limited edition Made to Thrill poster that they were only selling 420 of. I don't know if they actually ended up selling out of them or not. But that nice new Made to Thrill poster for Top Thrill 2. I was talking to one of the workers. He said that there will be another Made to Thrill Top Thrill 2 poster made for this year that's not limited edition or anything. That'll also have the magnet and t-shirt and all that good stuff with it. And there will also be another Made to Thrill Skyline like style poster also coming this year. And then, of course, all the new Top Thrill 2 stuff. I mean, there's sweatshirts with zipper kangaroo pockets. There's sweatshirts with zipper side pockets. There's Coaster Dynamics Nano Coaster Dynamics coaster cutout with like the Top Thrill 2 track. It's a little bigger and nicer, and it's colored. Let's see. I don't remember a whole lot of new merchandise for the other rides necessarily. They showed off about half of the buttons that are going to be there this year. I think there was 85 of them that he showed off. Only a few of them were on sale, but another really good year of buttons. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that closer to the season, what new sets they're going to have and all that good stuff. Let's see. They had some new plushies. There was a Raptor one, which I bought. He's sitting somewhere behind me. Oh, come on. There he is.
Yep.
Of course, none of you people listening could see him, but yeah, there's a little Raptor guy. I just wanted him to go with the mouse. And there's also a Steel Vengeance and a Millennium plushie that are new.
There's a Millennium bear that's literally dressed up like a
astronaut. Yeah,
that was
cute. Then there were some other things that were like being shown but weren't quite on sale yet. There was a couple like bigger, like nicer, like winter coats almost for Top Thrill 2. Almost looked like a race jacket. They had something like that's going to be expensive. Some nice keychains, some magnets, some maybe I think some pins, maybe some patches. They had like a CP Racing Top Thrill 2 polo. They said I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but it's from a company that's local called the Cat's Meow. They make like desk ornaments, they call them. They're like they're like wooden, and they're animated pictures of the park. They're super nice, and I have a bunch. My mom has a bunch of them because I keep buying them for her because I know she likes them. They said they didn't have any new ones coming this year or coming for Winter Chill Out, but they do have new ones on the way for the season.
Yeah.
And yep, Kyle's showing off one right now of the Grand Pavilion.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Those are super nice. And they're not that expensive. They're like $15-$20 and they're really nice artwork.
Tons of stuff coming.
Everything that you need for Top Thrill 2, they're gonna have.
Shot glasses, keychains, coins,
socks.
Socks. I'm sure that maybe they'll come out with like a tie, to wear to work or something. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, literally. So I was told that everything that was at there was a lot of new merchandise that they showed off this weekend. That doesn't even scratch the surface of what is coming for opening day. So be excited, I suppose.
Be excited and start saving now.
Yes.
But
I spent $200.
Obviously, Winter Chill Out is great to see that the park raised over $100,000 for charity for that and everything. So, but anyway, we're going to move along because I know that we talked a lot about Winter Chill Out. We just wanted to give you a really good in-depth of what we got to see and everything. We've got a few more stories. These will probably go a lot quicker. Obviously,
these are basically bullet points.
Yeah, pretty much bullet points. Because last week I was like, oh hey, by the way, guys, just a little. Hey, Kings Island started a vertical construction on their brand new coaster. Their
Snoopy Soapbox Racers.
Yes, and I was like, oh hey, by the way, it just started, and then I think like 2 days ago, it's already complete.
It's done.
So maybe they can
like we said before we before we were started recording. I'm like, last week I was like, it might open like by end of May, like Memorial Day. Right. And now I'm like, it might open for opening day, which is like a month prior to that. Yeah. So
I mean, that's pretty much the crazy update that I have. And then Evan, do you have an update for?
I mean, I've been obviously keeping tabs on Iron Menace at Dorney. That as of last week, they had just finished up the 0G roll, and then I think it was maybe even the same day as Kings Island. They posted that Iron Menace's track is now complete. The theming for the station is now going in, and testing will begin pretty soon, within the next couple weeks here. So
nice.
Very, very exciting.
That'll be cool to see how that paces through the course. And
I think that's going to really be a sleeper for dive coasters in general. I think that's really going to be a good ride.
Any dive coaster. Yeah. Yep. Sign me up. A 4-hour wait. Sure. I'll get right in line.
And you have to drive right past it to get into the parking lot. That's where all the ticket booths are. Like you're right against it. So people that
pops, I mean, it's just going to pop.
General public, that there's probably a lot of people that only go to Dorney once or twice a year that don't pay attention to the park outside of when they're there. Yeah. They probably go for the water park and that's about it. They're going to pull in the lot and be like, what the hell is that?
Right.
So, hey, that's good. That's good for Dorney. And then Kings Dominion and Carowinds decided to drop an absolute nuclear bomb on us this week. Kyle, do you want to take over on the Kings Dominion and Carowinds news? Although I think they're both kind of slightly different.
Yeah, I can take it from here. I can start with Carowinds. Carowinds announced that it would be renaming its iconic B&M Hypercoaster after its entire life of being named Intimidator, named after the NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt. The coaster will now be dropping any references to the Intimidator trademark and Dale Earnhardt himself, and will now be renamed to Thunder Striker.
I have thoughts.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I have two thoughts. I have one good, one bad. One, that's the bad one. We have Copperhead Strike in the park already, like a stone's throw away. And then you're going to rename this Thunder Striker? Like, what do we need two? We have Strike and Striker across whatever. But I do like the Thunder aspect because it's a nice little homage to the former Thunder Road wooden roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe
overall,
I think maybe
we'll see what kind of extra theming they add on it.
I think maybe I can finally buy some merchandise for that coaster because I know like within the past like few years or so they kind of dropped off and You know, because I think they knew that their contract was expiring, and they're like, well,
Yeah.
you know, maybe we don't know all of the information, but maybe just thinking contract wise, maybe it was possible that the part of the contract said, hey, you can't sell merchandise past this date, and maybe it was like 2 years ago or something. And then, by the way, it's going to be ending in 2024 or whatever. So
yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
Hopefully, some extra theming comes around.
Still a
with
great,
it because,
still a great coaster. It doesn't matter what the name was, whatever.
Yeah.
Just coaster, red coaster, and
I think I said about Top Thrill 2 before they announced the name of that. I'm like, they could name it like Poop the Ride, and we'd all still love it. So
a Carowinds spokesperson was quoted saying, "The name change was necessary because the contract granting the park naming rights for the coaster expired at the end of December. And this marks the commencement of an exciting new chapter for Carowinds and its iconic attraction."
yeah, I think this kind of slipped under the radar, but if you look at the Carowinds map now, the that little area of the park is named Thunder Road. So again, nice little nod to the former attraction.
And then over at Kings Dominion in Doswell, Virginia, their big coaster, Intimidator 305, has also lost the Intimidator naming rights, and it has a placeholder name right now of Project 305. They have not announced all the details yet, but they did write a little article on their website that says, "A certain roller coaster that we all know and love, one of the tallest, fastest, and most thrilling on the East Coast, is undergoing a transformation. While the insane drops, twists, turns, and speed are the same, the experience is something you've never seen, and definitely something you can't unsee. Details are coming, but in the meantime, brace yourself."
I'm very excited for this. This is
Thunderstrike 2.
No, I think this is going to have an awesome tie-in to Jungle Expedition. I think Flight of Fear is going to get a retheme. I'm very excited for this. This could be really, really cool what they do.
Yeah.
I hope even that I don't think Intimidator or Carowinds is getting a repaint, but I hope they go the extra mile and give it a whole new color scheme and really make this part of Jungle X.
Yeah, I'm maybe a color scheme. Okay, that's a few million right there. But I mean,
the red and gold just doesn't fit. You know,
maybe, but maybe it will fit once they if they get a new coaster for 25.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. But the jungle is like screams like more like green, brown, purple.
Yeah,
that kind of maybe even like a darker blue.
Yeah, and it needs it. I remember being there in October of 2022 and thinking then that, wow, this looks pretty worn. It could use a fresh coat of paint.
Yeah.
Okay. I say I haven't been over there in a minute, so it's been a little bit.
Yeah, we were just talking about going this year, so and it's worth noting that Carowinds opens for the year like in like 8 days or something like that, 9 days. So we'll get the first look at Thunderstriker here pretty soon.
Are either of you two going to be there?
No, not this year. I mean, maybe later on in the year. But
I'll make the drive up if either of you want to go for opening day. I'll meet you there.
I'm still trying to get over my travel sickness from the last few times I've traveled. And Kings Dominion opens in like a month, so we'll see online everything about that. Whatever that ends up being. Yeah, maybe it'll stay Project 305 this year, and it'll just kind of be mysterious. And then for next year, they're really going to go all out. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be
kind of like in football. There was the Washington Redskins, and then they were like, "Okay, we got to change the name. We're going to be the Washington Football Team for a year." And then, okay, now we're going to be the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a situation like that. It's close enough to Kings Dominion. They're no stranger to placeholder names for a year.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to see for sure. But I think this is probably going to about do it for the podcast. Unfortunately, until
we actually got 2 weeks in a row this time.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. It's almost like in the season.
So don't count on an episode next week.
Yeah, I would say we'll see. It depends. I mean, you never know when Cedar Point's going to drop all that brand new information.
Right.
and
that's true about the passes or the pass holder day and all that crap.
Yeah, for sure. But Kyle, you want to hit that closing music, and I'll close this, and then you close us out. Well, yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week, this episode. Maybe we'll come back next week or the following week after that. I can't wait for Tony to drop all the brand new information for 2024 of the past preview stuff, and also more details about the keychains. Evan, do you have anything to add?
Nah, you said it. Thanks for listening. See you next week, maybe the week after. Who knows?
All right, we need to stop recording these things at night because I am so tired. But like everyone said, see you next week. Take it away, Justin.
Thank you for listening to the Rundown on Fun. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Cedar Fair. As always, be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the Midway. Good night.